Hello and welcome to another Timeflow tutorial. In this video you'll learn how to use Animation Sequencer to blend and layer animation clips in Unity to sequence character animations and more. To get started, please be sure you are using the latest version of Timeflow 1.9 or later. And if you haven't already, go ahead and download the demo content in the samples. You may use any render pipeline you wish, though in this example we'll be using URP. To go over the setup from scratch, let's create a new default scene. If the Timeflow view isn't open yet, you can open it from the main menu or using the shortcut Ctrl-Shift-Alt-T. Next we'll click the Add Timeflow to the Scene button. Let's then find a character to work with. In the project view, navigate to the Timeflow demo samples, and inside Assets, Models, Characters, you'll find the Pilot FBX. Be sure to grab the one simply named Pilot, as the others are animations only. We can drag and drop the Pilot model into the Timeflow view. You may of course choose any character or object you'd like to work with. This model by default doesn't have a runtime animator controller assigned. It isn't necessary to have one, though for the purposes of demonstrating blending with the base animator, we can click the target icon and locate the Pilot animator controller. Looking in the animator view, we can see this controller has a very basic setup with an idle animation only. You can of course have much more complex setups with animator blend trees and such. Next, let's right-click the Pilot in the Timeflow view and select Add Animation, Animation Sequencer. This adds the new component and creates a new clip track channel. We can then use the keyboard shortcut holding the Alt key and use the mouse scroll wheel to adjust the height of the channel, making it a bit taller. Let's also adjust the camera so we're looking at our character. Now we're ready to start adding some animations. Back in the project view, we can select any of the animations which are inside these FBX files. Select and drag the animation clip asset into the Timeflow view, which shows a green highlighted preview of where it will drop. Once dropped, the animation clip is added as a new keyframe. We can turn on the value labels to see the name of the animation clip assigned to it. Let's grab a couple more animations and add them as well. To create a smooth transition from one clip to the next, we'll want the tracks to overlap some. The transition area is indicated by the crisscrossing arrows. We can scrub through the time or press spacebar to play and preview the transition thus far. Let's enable looping for this clip, and then drag out the end time a bit. And then adjust the third keyframe in a similar manner. We can also enable looping. This one will fade out to the base animation, which is an idle pose. We can click anywhere on a keyframe to drag its position in time. And the end handle can be dragged out to extend or shorten the keyframe as needed. Let's now play the animation to preview what we have so far. The transitions can be edited further using the small square handles. The transition has a default ease curve, though it can be customized by clicking the curve field in the info panel. This is Unity's built-in curve editor and allows you to create your own presets if you want more options. Keep in mind that this curve controls the rate of transition and does not affect the animation speed. If you want to slow down or speed up the animation clip, set the speed value. This acts as a multiplier. For example, entering 0.5 will play the animation clip at half speed. And if you only want to play a portion of an animation clip, the clip range can be edited using this slider, or by entering the start and end time of the clip in seconds. The currently assigned animation clip is shown here, or click the menu to select a different one. The animation clip asset can be revealed by clicking the pointer arrow icon, or click the pencil icon to open the animation clip for editing. You can also open animation clips by holding Ctrl and double-clicking on a clip keyframe. Another helpful thing you can do is enable Colorize to assign a custom key color. This can be useful to visually call out important keyframes or to simply add variation for clarity. Let's now go a little more advanced and get into animation layering. To add a new animation layer, right-click on Clip Track 1 and select Add Animation Sequencer Track. This creates a new empty track, which layers animation on top of Clip Track 1. We can grab another clip and add it to the view, such as this T-pose. Hold the Alt key to snap to the grid. Our character is now in a static T-pose for the duration of the clip, since this layer overwrites those below it. With the keyframe selected, we can adjust the in and out blend handles to transition with the bottom layer. Let's extend the keyframe out further so that it covers most of the keyframe range. Another way to blend the animation is to select the clip track and then adjust the weight slider. We can now see that the animations are blended together. Though, suppose you only want the animation applied to part of the body. To do this, we can use an avatar mask. Click the target icon in the mask field and we can select the one already created. Let's double-click it to open the asset and inspect the setup further. In the humanoid section, the mask has been set up to only allow the arms to animate. We won't go over the full setup here, but if you want to create your own avatar mask, simply select the model and go to the rig settings. Select the avatar definition and click Configure. Back in Timeflow, we can press spacebar to preview the animation. Let's select the keyframes and press Ctrl-L to loop the selection. We can now continue to edit the animation clip while it plays. If you decide you don't like the T-pose, you can grab another clip, such as running upstairs, and while holding the Alt key, drop it into the existing keyframe highlighted in white to replace it. The final thing we'll go over is using inverse kinematics, or simply called IK. Animation Sequencer supports two kinds of IK, using the Mecanum avatar system, which requires scripting, and we won't go over in this video, or the other option is using the animation rigging package. What I recommend starting with is the free control rig asset in the Unity Asset Store. This is based on the animation rigging package and provides a quick setup tool. Once installed, from the Tools menu, select Control Rig Builder. Then drag in the pilot game object to the animator field. And click Build Rig. This automates the setup of the rig constraints for a typical character. In the scene view, we can see the new constraint gizmos for each of the limbs. In the Animation Sequencer editor, we'll need to specify that the IK constraints are set up using animation rigging. Now, if your character goes flying off into a weird position, that's okay. To fix that, we need to assign a default animation clip that will provide our binding pose. We can add standing idle, and then click Rebind Animator. The character now comes back into correct placement, and we can preview the animation. The character is trying to move, but the IK constraints are keeping him restrained. In the hierarchy view, we can Alt-click the control rig foldout to see the full hierarchy. Let's go through each of these constraints and set the weight to 0. If you want to keyframe these values, turn on auto keyframing and rewind the time to the beginning. We'll go through each one of the constraints now and set the weight to 0. For the right hand, let's set its weight to about half. And for the head aim, we'll keep that at 1. While we have auto keyframing still active, let's select the head look at target. Then in the scene view, using the move transform, we can set a few keyframes. And if you like, you can do the same thing with the right hand target. We can turn off auto keyframing now. Let's select the right hand weight channel and press G to switch to the graph view. Then add a couple more keyframes, keeping in mind that the weight value is between 0 and 1. And now generally you get the idea of how IK constraints can be set up and animated. For more examples, please be sure to check out the demo scenes included with the Timeflow samples, and see the video description for additional learning resources. That wraps up this video on using the animation sequencer in Timeflow. If this video has been helpful, please hit the like and subscribe button, and thank you. See you in the next one.